What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today, here to talk about some college basketball props. It is Tuesday, February the 7th, so we have a bunch of games on deck. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so when this and all other content goes live. If you're listening on podcast, please leave a rating and review over there as well. And what do you know? We have a new ad. Allegedly, we launched our first sports-specific YouTube channel today, Odd Shopper Golf. Don't forget to check that out. It's going to have all the regular golf content with our crew of golf analysts, including Ben Raza, former Iowa State caddy Eric Lindquist, Eitan Shander, and more. We'll include betting picks, course and player analysis, parlays, one-and-done picks, and more. The link is in the video description. Hit that subscribe button to know when all that content goes live. Cool. That's awesome. They do a great job with the golf content, so make sure to check that out. And as you can see on the screen, if you are watching, we are talking no house advantage today. They have a bunch of different ways you can play player props. We'll be talking about versus the house tools, and we're going to be going through all 5 player props today where you can 21 extra entry fee. But they also have a first match deposit bonus up to $100, and they have pick'em contests. That's you versus other people in tournament style contests where they have as much as $25,000 up top. So you can really take advantage of those. And a lot of times they're not filling. So that can give you a better shot at actually taking down the massive prize. Click the link in the video description below to take advantage of that as well. And we're going to go right over to no house advantage. And, well, that's not what we want. Here we go. We're going to start things off with a bit of a risky pick here. Trayce Jackson-Davis for Indiana under 12.5 rebounds. Now, this might be a little bit scary at first glance, but hopefully I can talk you through why this is a decent bet to take today. Indiana's playing Rutgers. First off, this is a lower total game environment, 135.5. Indiana is still favored here, but it's almost the exact different style of matchup that Indiana's been facing, at least recently. When you look at this Indiana team, first off, Trayce Jackson-Davis averages 11 rebounds per game, which is awesome. But some of the most recent opponents where he's really beaten up on them in terms of on the glass haven't been great in terms of rebounding. We can look to the last 5 games. He had 7 against Purdue. That'll happen. You're facing Zach Edey. Had 20 against Maryland. They're not the tallest team. 10 against Ohio State. 21 against Minnesota, who's playing without a big man right now. And Michigan State, 15 boards. They also play with a smaller 5 in Joey Hauser. Prior to that, he had some games where he struggled a bit and some games where he was eclipsing this with ease. And basically what it comes down to is opponent's face, because Trayce Jackson-Davis, elite player, but he's 6'9". When we look at Rutgers, they're 16th in the country in rebounding. That is on the back of mostly Cliff Omoruyi and Andre Hyatt. They did lose Mawot Mag, which hurts them a little bit inside, but we're still talking about a fairly difficult matchup for Trayce Jackson-Davis on the glass in what should be a lower total game overall, and we see that in the spread. So we're going to go under 12.5 boards for Trayce Jackson-Davis. He projects at 10.6 for us. Second one, we are going to Auburn taking on Texas A&M, where we have Johnny Broome over 8.5 boards. This is one where Broome is already averaging a little bit more than this per game. Right now, he is at 8.9 rebounds per game with this Auburn team, and that is within 25.9 minutes per game. That's jumped recently. Broome has played at least 28 minutes in 2 of the last 3, and he played 32 minutes in their most recent game, which was a 3-point loss. But more importantly, Dylan Cardwell did not suit up in that game, and he's doubtful here. In the front court, he plays somewhere between 12 to 18 minutes per game generally, and now that just opens up more minutes for Johnny Broome and this front court. Right now, Auburn is a 3-point underdog to Texas A&M. The game has a 135.5 total. Both teams pretty good at rebounding. Texas A&M's 48th, but Auburn is 39th. Broome should have ample opportunity here with the extra minutes, and it's just a couple we're projecting for him. He comes in at 9.5 rebounds, which gives us pretty good value towards the over on 8.5 in this spot. We're going to stick with the same game for our third prop, which is Wade Taylor over 3.5 assists. Now, this one comes down to basically just minutes played. Wade Taylor averages 4 assists per game, but his minutes have been volatile this year. We look at the last 3 games, 21 minutes, 34 minutes, and 34 minutes. Well, that 21-minute game, Wade Taylor fouled 4 times, which is going to be a problem for him in certain matchups. But when he's not fouling, you're going to see him eclipse 30 minutes with ease, as we did in the 2 games prior to that. He has an assist rate of 29.5% on the year, and that's jumped to 32.5% in the last 3 games, even with that foul performance. Nothing in this matchup suggests that Wade Taylor should not be assisting, so we already have him averaging more than the listed prop. Again, he averages 4 per game, and that's in just 27 minutes. If he sees his normal 30-plus minutes here, Wade Taylor should walk over this 3.5 assist prop with ease. Going to our 4th and our 5th, we're going to give you all 5 today. Got to scroll down quite a bit here for a later game. NC State takes on Virginia. We're going DJ Burns under 14.5 points. A couple things stand out here in this matchup. First of all, as you guys know, if you watch Virginia, this is one of the slowest teams in the country. Way below average in terms of possessions per game. That generally slows the pace. The under's already taken some money here. Currently sits at 135. It's actually a bit higher than most Virginia games, but still nothing really elite there. And for DJ Burns, he's a player that has a couple concerns. First off, he's a fouler, one of the highest foul rates in the country, especially on this team. And this drastically affects his minutes. Played 37 minutes in the most recent game, but only 19 in the game prior because of 4 fouls. And that's especially going to be a problem against Virginia, who plays strong interior defense. Virginia, they're a lopsided defense. They're outside the top 200 in 3-point defense, but they're inside the top 50 in 2-point defense. That directly impacts DJ Burns here. And he's a player who has drastically benefited from some easier matchups recently. You look at his most recent games, he scored 24 points against Georgia Tech. That's an awful team. 15 against Florida State, bottom half of the ACC. 31 against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is outside the top 200 in interior defense. Well, those are the last 3 games he's played. Prior to that, 14 against Notre Dame, 18 against UNC. Can't take anything away from him there. And then that's where we start to see, once we go prior to that, some of the struggles we've seen from DJ Burns this year. So right now, I think you're selling high a little bit on the DJ Burns with the points in this particular matchup against a Virginia team, which is very strong in the interior. So we'll continue with the under in this spot. And to close this out, one more player prop. We're going all the way to the night game. Nevada taking on New Mexico, where we have Will Baker over 13.5 points. Will Baker is an elite scoring option, but like many players we've talked about on this particular slate of games, he's dependent on minutes. When you look at him this year, he averages 13.5 points per game in 24.9 minutes. So why maybe does he not play as many minutes in certain games? A lot of times it comes down to fouls, but sometimes it also comes down to blowouts. For reference, he played 25 minutes in the most recent game. That was a 20-point win for Nevada. 32 minutes in the game prior, and then he played 19 in the game prior to that, where he did have some foul issues again. But overall, you look at this player, he has a 16% shot rate on the year, already averages basically his listed prop, and it comes down to minutes played. When we give him 30 minutes, he projects for 15.2 points. So within this shot rate, this is one he should eclipse. And not to mention, this is a really up-tempo, high-scoring game environment here. The total in the game is 149.5, and the spread's only 4 points in favor of New Mexico. We're expecting a lot of points in this game, and that should trickle down to not only the studs like Keaton Blackshear and Jared Lucas, but Will Baker as well, playing in the front court of this game. And as you can see on the bottom, if you get all of these correct, you can make up to 21 extra entry fee, but you can play around with how many of the player props you like to use on an individual day of games. Tonight's, personally, just think they got a lot of really good props to take advantage of on No House Advantage. Let me know in the comment section what you think of these props, if there's any others you like. If you'd like to reach out to me on Twitter, I'm at Matt_Kajeski. And hit the thumbs up button, subscribe on the way out. Until next time, good luck, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow.